Hey, this is Charles Onyett. I'm here with Anthony Gallegos.
Hello.
And we're from IGN and playing in the Guild Wars 2 closed beta test. This is an upcoming MMO from ArenaNet. And I'm playing as a ranger right now. And I'm going to show off some of the ranger's skills. But before I do that, I wanted to show off the main human city because it looks incredible. You can see there's just all this crazy architecture around the outside. And then you look up to the roof here, and you just get these really detailed, massive structures up here that are just rotating around. You know, these things are covered with moss, which is just really nice detail that you can see there.
Items are casting shadows throughout the environment.
Yeah, this is just really pretty, and this is the main city. You have this moon that's just kind of rolling around the top there, so just a lot of attention to detail paid throughout Guild Wars 2. Some environments don't look as impressive if you're just out in the open at night. But something like this, I think, stands as an exception. I would assume most would agree with that.
Yeah, I think Guild Wars 2 is probably one of the better looking MMOs that are coming out, at least this year for sure.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of that has to do with art style, and probably all derives from their concept art team, which does an excellent job of sort of pre-visualizing the world before it's actually created in 3D like this. So what I'm going to do is head out to a battlefield and show off how the skill system works in relation to the ranger class. So where should I go that wouldn't be terrible?
It's interesting too, you get to see an example here of how easy it is to teleport once you've discovered their waypoints throughout the whole world, and then once you have it, it's just a quick look at the map, select the waypoint, and then bam, you're traveling.
Yeah. Apparently this is going to kick me out to an overflow server, so I don't know if there are going to be quite as many people out here, but hopefully there are. And the way the skill system works in Guild Wars 2 is every class can equip different weapons, and half of your skill bar is basically paired with the weapons that you're using at the time. So your active weapon determines half of your skill set. The other skill set is not related to weapons. It's more related to, you get like 1 healing ability, you get 3 slot skills, which are down here. These are slot skills. This is your heal, and then an elite skill. I haven't unlocked this stuff because I haven't leveled enough. The cap is 80, I'm only 7.
Yeah, the elite skill isn't even unlocked till 30. So
I have quite a ways to go in that regard. Oh no, there are some people running around here. But what I have equipped right now is I have a short bow, and I can just open up my character inventory here. Here you can see the slot skills. You spend skill points to unlock all of these. So I have 1 skill point, but I only have one free slot. So I can equip any of these skills in here once I spend these skill points to get them. And you get the skill points by leveling, and you can also do special challenges, which you can see on the map out here. Like this. This is will earn you a skill point if you head over there, over here, which will help you unlock those skills a little bit faster. And something I can't really show off at this point are the traits, which is this tab here unlocked at level 11, that are a whole nother way to customize your character that mostly have to do with percentage bonuses if you want to be a better healer, damage dealer, stuff like that.
Those are very specifying your role. Like, those kind of break it down more specific whether you want to do damage or healing, because a lot of the classes have a healing option.
Yeah, well, every class does have a healing option, so in slot skills, I have 4 heals that I can eventually learn. This one, the one that I have equipped right now, just heals my pet and I. The next one does regenerating health over time. And then this healing spring actually sets up an area of effect field on the ground that will heal me and anyone who happens to be in the field as well. So what you're seeing right here is a ranger with my pet. This is my pet. It's a river drake. And a lot of ranger combat has to do with pets. A lot of skills have effects on pets so that they'll be more effective in combat for a temporary bit. And you can summon a whole bunch of different pets into combat. Because it's early, I don't really have access to a bunch of them. You can see a unique skill set here, as well as a special ability, Lightning Breath. So my river drake can shoot lightning breath if I so determine, but there are a ridiculous amount of pets to actually get in the game. So if you do choose to play a ranger when Guild Wars 2 is eventually made available, you will have quite a few things to chase, including, I think there are like 4 types of jellyfish on here.
Because they're...
I don't see them. There's spiders.
All characters have land weapons and water weapons, and so you can have water pets as well.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe the jellyfish is a water-only pet. I'm not.
I mean, the interesting thing is that not only do you have to manage all these powers and the various powers that come with various weapons, but you're also having to think about which pet you want because they further specialize for the situation at hand.
Yep, because each pet will come with their unique abilities. So let me go see if I can find a wolf here and fight it. There's one. I don't know where he's going. But what I have equipped right now, I believe, is just a short bow. Longbow. Okay, so I have longbow and short bow on the swap here. No, that was short bow. Yeah. So what goes on with short bow is if I can just do a basic auto attack, which will just shoot arrows pretty quickly, as you can see, if this wolf would actually stay in range. I don't know where he's going.
The nice thing is the auto attacks also stay on, unlike something like Star Wars or, you don't have to continue to mash it. That one stays on automatically while you focus on doing your other abilities.
Yeah. So one cool thing about this auto attack is if I manage to attack from the side or from behind, it actually causes a bleeding effect. So it does basic damage up front. If I can roll around while my pet has the enemy distracted, I can actually do additional effects on the enemy, which is kind of nice. The second one, Poison Volley, just does a basic fan there. If you saw those green projectiles, a fan of poison damage. So if that hits anything, then I get some extra damage effects in there. I also have an evasive move, which helps me get out of combat a little bit if I get in a little too close. So if I'm attacking River Drake guy here and want to jump back, there we go. I jump away from him, and that also has an additional special effect of increasing my movement speed, assuming that shot that I fire when I jump away actually hits. And you can notice I'm rolling here. You'll have a stamina bar, so classes can actually move around in combat. You'll have to do that as enemies target you with area of effect attacks and things like that. You'll have to get out of the way. That becomes fairly important.
But the ranger doesn't have to fight up at range either. He actually has the option to fight close as well, correct?
Well, the weapons that I've learned so far are mostly distance attacks. Even the axe that I have actually attacks from range. I also have a crippling shot here, which there's actually a Skyrim reference built into this weapon description where it says, shatter your foe's dreams of becoming an adventurer with a single arrow to the knee. Very clever. So that's in there. But basically what it does is it cripples an opponent, so it reduces their speed. Again, allowing you to stay at range while you're fighting, so you can combine that with, like if I was going to fight this Moa over here, I could come in and hit it with the crippling shot. There you go, you can see it's debuff, it's slow, and I can hop away with this. I have an extra movement speed bonus, and now I'm attacking it from behind, stacking the bleeding effects, and follow up with maybe a poison. Well, it didn't matter, it was dead, but I'm fighting another one now. And this is a concussion shot, which dazes and can stun if... He got me. Can stun if I do this properly. I'm trying to walk around behind him. There you go, you can see a daze. So another way for me to control the movement of the enemies while I'm playing. You can see my Drake doing its own thing over there.
With this bow, basically, it seems like as long as you're playing well, the ranger should almost never get hit, as long as the pet is tanking and you're keeping yourself out of combat.
Yeah, and you can control the pet too. If I hit F1, I'll actually... Pet should attack. There we go. So I can send him in first. He takes all the damage. I can have him do lightning breath with one key, and see if he pulls it off here. Do it. Use your lightning breath.
He wants
to. Seems to be there it goes.
There it goes. Nice.
And now I'm going to sit on the side, so I'm stacking bleeding effects here. I'm behind. I'm going to shoot a concussive shot. There we go. We got a stun while he's dead anyway. And I'm going to hang around behind, do knockback, maybe get some poison damage in here so they're taking damage over time. And crippling shot just because this guy seems to want to escape. That's not going to happen.
Just like that, 3 guys at once. That's tough for some classes.
Yeah, now, I mean, obviously my pet isn't doing so well here, but his health will regenerate, and this healing effect also heals the pet. So if I needed to, I could have triggered that as well. So I'm going to switch over to a longbow, and you can see the difference between the two bows. I mean, I think the bows are traditionally what you would associate with a ranger class, someone like this, or profession as they're called in Guild Wars 2. So this works a little differently. It fires a lot more slowly, and this long-range shot, which is my basic attack, will actually do more damage the farther away it is. So I can just hang back, and I want to stay even more distance with this weapon equipped.
But you really can shoot from quite far away.
So I'm just nuking now. Yeah, you can shoot it, and you can see it's a lot slower, but each shot has more of an effect. And then if I... here, I'll send my pet in first. Go on, buddy. Go attack that thing. There you go. So once I get something lined up, I know what my target's going to be. I can initiate a rapid fire, which you can see here, this little channeled effect. No, apparently I was targeting the wrong thing. I'll try that again. After killing this guy. I'm going to have my pet use lightning breath just because. Alright, so here we go. Rapid fire on this guy, and then do a whole bunch of strikes, and that's really effective for really piling on the damage on a single target, particularly once your pet has already drawn their attention. The third thing here is a hunter shot. Gives your pet swiftness, which is basically a movement speed bonus, and also lowers the defense of a target. So nothing too fancy there, but it is effective for opening a fight. So there you go. He's already got lowered defense for the pet to sort of take charge over there. And then I can do something like point blank shot. This is useful if someone gets really close to me, like right now. I use the point blank shot and knock him way back so that I actually gain distance. So it's somewhat similar to the short bow effect where I actually jump backwards, although I don't believe I get a movement bonus here. But the difference is, or the special effect here rather, is just that if the opponent is closer when I initiate it, they will actually be pushed further back. So that's a good kind of oh crap button in case you get in trouble while you're using the longbow. Also, just wanted to point out really nice reflections here on the water.
Yeah, really I mean, cool. Again, this game is definitely one of the more graphically impressive MMOs that is coming out this year.
Okay, and this is actually a good opportunity to use the flashiest skill with the longbow, which is Barrage. And I'm going to see if I can catch them in it. Oops.
Oh, you got him at least a little bit.
You can see the arrows coming down a little bit. I kind of screwed that up. But basically what it does is it pelts an area of effect with, oh god, well it looks like I'm getting some help here. I don't know if maybe you can see some combo effects in this case. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it off. I don't know if that's a combo field. So in some cases there are cross-profession combos in Guild Wars 2, where if other classes or professions come in and start dealing damage and using their skills, you can combine them with yours just because of their presence on the field. So in the case of the Elementalist who does fire damage and things like that, there is a fire field spell.
Yeah, they can put up a fire shield around them, and if arrows pass through it, then they catch on fire.
The arrows will catch on fire, which is really cool. Well, I mean, it's a cool effect anyway, but it's especially useful if you're using something like rapid fire and you shoot like 20 arrows through a fire field and they all catch on fire. Then you're gaining some really nice bonuses there, and that just shows the depth of the teamwork that's really built into the core of this game that you're not seeing here because I'm just kind of running around by myself. Now, what you did just see there is a new event popped up. This is Guild Wars 2's event system, where things will just happen in the world as you're running around, encouraging, everyone will get that message, and it basically encourages people to group up and band together to do these special challenges.
It also almost makes sure that you almost always feel like you have something to do. Even if maybe you just finished a quest, you'll just be roaming through an area going towards the next quest, and you'll get constantly distracted in a good way.
Yeah, it's definitely, and the bonuses for doing these are very much worthwhile. So it's worth getting into.
And they're nice too, because even if you don't, even if you come in when the quest is towards like at the very end, as long as you contributed, you'll get a reward based on your contribution.
Yeah. So I'm going to swap out a different weapon set here. I'm actually going to put an axe in, which is a one-handed weapon. So you can see it only has 3 skills, so you can combine one-handed weapons with offhands, which fill in these other slots. And this Hunter's Call is probably my favorite of the ranger skills I've seen so far, which I'll show off in a bit. See if I can find some people to attack. Okay, so the axe is actually a ranged weapon when used by the hunter. The basic attack will actually do I don't know if it's going to chain here because this person's kind of isolated, but this axe throw will ricochet off of targets, so it will affect multiple targets. You'll see it bounce here as this person comes closer.
Nice.
There you go. So that's a nice effect, especially when in groups and doing these, oh god, doing these situations here. I'm getting some help now. But the second one, Split Blade, is also good because it shoots out, much like the poison arrow, will shoot out a fan of axes. Oh god. That will cause bleeding effects on anyone it hits. So in this case,
Nice.
there we go. I've created more bleeding effects, so you just get that extra damage over time. And then the third one is Winter's Bite, that actually shoots out a chilled axe and just slows the opponent down ever so slightly.
Not a bad thing if they're running towards you and you need to make sure that you buy a little extra time.
Yeah, again, the ranger across multiple weapon types just seems to want to stay at a distance. Now, this next one I can show is probably my favorite, and that guy's gonna die. And I'm actually pretty low on health here too, but I'll use it on this guy. So this is Hunter's Call, and if you use it, you will see birds actually descend upon your targets and start pecking at them, which I don't think actually happened with this harpy, unfortunately. But and it just does damage over time, and you can trade it to modify its damage totals. Here, I gotta heal up a little bit and wait for. Here, I'm gonna hit that guy with this skill.
And right there, you see even
there we go, birds.
You see the birds now, but also you can notice that event that popped up, technically they failed, but he still got credit for participating.
Yeah, you do still get credit. So this is experience points, karma points, which is a form of currency in the game. It's non-tradable, and then coins, which you use to do anything from repairing your gear to, I'll use a fan and hit a couple of them. And the ice axe to slow him down, and regular attack, and there you go, he's dead. And then the fifth one, on that, this is on the horn offhand, is this call that is basically just a group buff. Also very appropriate, a wolf head that showed
comes
up
and howls
there.
at you.
Yeah, that totally works. So that is just, it helps everyone out in combat, so that's something you want to use on a regular basis. I think my pet is actually dead right now. I wish that wasn't the case. I'm trying for a revive, which probably isn't a very good idea right now, so I'll just heal myself. But yeah, that's a basic overview of some of the weapons that the ranger can use. Now, you can see there are a whole bunch more weapon skills in here. Can use a one-handed sword. An axe can actually be equipped as an offhand. I don't have those unlocked, but as you use weapons, you unlock additional skills, and it doesn't really take that long. It's just mostly for tutorial purposes to get you used to each skill as you're using it, then the next one unlocks, and so on and so on. A great sword, a torch, the warhorn I have equipped, and then you have some underwater weaponry here, which I haven't really messed around much with. And yeah, all of the slot skills, and you can actually see some of this stuff because in Guild Wars 2 you can go directly to a max level character to do some PvP. So you can queue up immediately to get into kind of the arena PvP modes where it's just one-off control point matches, or be in the mists, which is kind of an intermediate lobby where you can go to those arena matches, or you can go to the world versus world PvP section that is a really, really large map where you fight for control against 2 other servers, essentially. And there are a lot of cool bonuses and stuff you get for that. In fact, no, it's not on me right now, but if your team is doing well in the world versus world, you'll actually get bonuses that are active on you for the entire time. So it's definitely in your best interest to control that part of the game.
It's nice too, because being in the mists, you get to actually kind of get a feel for what a level 80 character is like. They give you level 80 PvP gear. They give you all the access to all the stats and abilities that you would have at level 80. And you can kind of come here and experiment with some of those higher level abilities and traits.
Yeah, you can just basically get used to your class. And
yeah,
and here, you can see all of the slot skills are unlocked here. All of my heals are unlocked, so I can show off the AoE heal that I was mentioning before. You know, this is what it looks like. So everyone in this area gets, there's a heal and there's regen. You can see my buffs up here. So that's just convenient, obviously. That works very well for PvP. You get signets as a ranger, which this one in particular gives increased movement speed, but you also get a bunch of other bonuses as well. You can set traps, which I don't have any traps equipped right now, but those are also in the slot skills. And you get a bunch of snares and things like that to, again, impede the movement of the things that you're fighting. You can also summon spirits, which I think is pretty interesting. I have my elite skills. It doesn't appear like you can... Some of these don't actually equip, and this is beta, so they're probably just not entirely done yet, would be my guess. But if you summon, like, the Spirit of Nature, it will actually revive and remove conditions of nearby allies, and there are a couple spells that do this, where they just summon this kind of spirit thing that stands around and confers bonuses to people around it. You can do that too with other spirits to increase attacks and things like that to make you more effective in combat, or for support purposes like this guy, who will stand around and apparently revive people, which is pretty cool. But yeah, that's an overview of the Ranger profession in Guild Wars 2. There's no actual release date yet for this game, although it is supposed to come out sometime in 2012, with 8 professions total. And for a look at more professions in Guild Wars 2, you can check out IGN.com or head over to IGN's YouTube page.